Welcome to the last Spectrum tutorial. Now we're looking at endgame scenarios. And as you can see now there are 8 colors closed, so we're going to bring in 4 dice. And I think the best way to do this is the same way we did it last time, which is to let every color take a turn and see what we can look at each turn to see what kind of strategies there are. So we'll start with orange's turn time and actually go the direction I said last time. Instead of going in reverse order. So let's go. Orange is going first. Ooh, here we go. We have 4 different colors. So now we can make all sorts of combinations here. Let's see. Blue and purple are next to each other. Blue and green are next to each other. And green and yellow are next to each other. So in theory, it looks something like this, where we can open up all sorts of auxiliaries. So let's see where orange is right now and what color is open. Right now, yellow's open still. Orange, yellow's open. Purple, red is open. And blue purple is open. So ideally, orange would probably want to move in this area, which means probably looking at the blue purple dice to start with. So with blue purple, he can move 2 in purple, he can move 2 in blue, he can move 1 in each, or he can move 2 or 1 in the blue purple area. He happens to be in the blue purple area, and if he takes both at one time and uses it as a jump, he may land on any space that touches the jumped spot, which in this case we could jump this blue and land directly onto a color, since the color is touching the blue space. So that is the ideal move for orange without too much thought, as he closes yet another color. He now has 3 closed colors in a 4-player game. You're going to need 4 to win, so he needs 1 more to win. And now let's move on to red. So let's get red 4 dice here to roll. Let's see what he can come up with. Okay, so now we're going to get some combinations here. Nothing's next to each other, so you're not going to have any real open auxiliaries unless you look at the double purple here. So let's start there, and it's red's turn. Red does have somebody in purple, so that would immediately allow him to move up to here. So I think this is what he's going to do, and now it's just a matter of what does he do with his bonus. He can move auxiliaries to purple, or he can move in the yellow area. So let's see, what does red have going on in yellow? So he has all sorts of options here. So let's look here. Since he can move into the auxiliary, he could do something like this. 1, 2. Now remember, he can't jump here because he's not sharing a side, but he could do that and send orange to somewhere that's closed on the board, which would be like this area. That would not be a good spot for orange to end up. For orange's sake. Great for red, but red's still got blue behind him there. So let's move that back and see what his other options are. As we said, because he can move in the yellow area, he has a guy in yellow, and here we could do interesting things. We could use, well, with the double, we'd have to use them both at the same time. So we'd have to jump blue and try to land on something touching blue, which means either here or here would be the best 2 spots. I would probably, I don't know if this is more valuable. He's just in bad. He's just got to survive another turn where nobody comes and gets him, which is probably a bad chance to have happen. But if I had to roll the dice, I'd roll the dice on the one that's harder to get to, which would be the intermediate. So let's say red gambles a little bit and comes over here with his move, and he'll have to hope that blue and green do not get lucky. So let's move on to blue, see what blue can come up with. His roll. Oh, all right, so we got another special roll here. We could take yellow-orange, which could be very good for blue. He's in yellow. In fact, if you look at this, blue can't take yellow just by taking a plain old yellow-orange normal roll. He uses the 2 yellow, jumps the green, and he's in. But for the sake of tutorial, he also has the option of a special roll, which is a triple, which is actually works the same way as a double, except it's in 3s, right? So he'd have to take 3 in orange, which he does not have. He'd have to bring in a new pawn and do something like that. Whoops, sorry. He'd have to bring in a new pawn. Oh, now he brought every pawn he had with him. Let's back this up here a second. All right, let's do that. So he'd have to bring in a new pawn with just to take the triple, because he has to take the orange first. So he'd have to waste a pawn doing that. And then he would allow the same rules as doubles, but it's in 3s. He'd be allowed to move 3 in either auxiliary to orange, or 3 on the bottom, which is blue. So it would be 3 in blue or 3 of these. All the blues are closed. He wouldn't want to do that. So the big question for him is, Does he just want to take the yellow-orange and close it off, which is the easiest thing to do? Or he could take the triple, and then he could also move this guy, but he's kind of trapped there. I don't think that's going to be a good move for him. So I think his best move would have been the classic jump in here and take that. Well, I'm sorry, that's orange. It would be the jump into the yellow as the first option he had. Just take a yellow orange, use the two, jump over green, and land into here and close another color. So as we can see, now blue has three closed, orange has three closed, green and red both have two closed. So blue and orange are one color away from winning. Orange has here one here, blue has one here. Orange has one over here, so orange would be probably favored because he has both chances at both. Blue has nobody in this area. You need to get somebody over here. But for the sake of finishing this round, let's roll for green and see what comes up for green. Maybe he'll close this yellow. And I think he did, because this might be his best move, which would be a jump over this, and he can land there since it's touching and close off that color. And now he has three closed colors too. I don't foresee, there's no purple in here that he could move in this area, so I'm guessing this is his best move, and then he can fight over purple. So it'd be coming down to these probably these 5 pawns over here fighting over this one color. If red can pull it off, we get ourselves a 4-way draw. If orange, blue, or green were to take this last color, they would win the game. And that's basically getting into the end game tactics. As you can see, a lot of things happen, a lot of choices on the rolls. Colors are closed, so that kind of limits it. You want to get pawns into areas that are still open, and then really take a good look. Don't always look for the special one, because sometimes a common roll is the best roll there is for you. So the tutorial helps with that in this one. So that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully the 3 tutorials all together will give you a good idea of how to play Spectrum. I hope you enjoy the game, and we'll see you at the tables.